The sky stretched above, heavy with the weight of its deep purple hue, as if lament itself had settled in the air. It was an afternoon that could have been any other, a moment suspended in a time that might never have been. The ruins of the city whispered softly, their cracks and layers of dust telling stories long since lost. These echoes lacked voice, lacked name. They simply were. You walked through the bones of the cubic city, feeling the weight of time beneath your feet, the remnants of a forgotten place beneath a sun that had no memory of its past. This present, fractured and drawn taut, felt eternal, resonating like a drum, rusted and forgotten. Time here had stopped, as if it had nowhere else to go, and you, a silent witness, stood amid its stillness. In the distance, the towers floated, quiet and suspended in the thick air, their purpose long forgotten. Above them, far beyond sight, the determiners slept. They, the architects of reality, who once calculated the threads of possibility, now rested, their task complete. It was they who decided what would be and what would never come to pass, etching their judgments into the fabric of time. There is no path, they once declared, nothing but what happens. And with those words, all that could not be simply dissolved into mist, leaving only the real to persist. The possible, the determiners decided, was ever bound by the chains of what is. Beneath the looming shadow of a rusting machine, one that had once promised life in this desolate world, the empty promises echoed in the silence. The machine, mute and still, reflected the emptiness around it, once boasting of hydration in a world that had forgotten the taste of water. Then from the ruins, a figure emerged, a hunched man, eyes like a sun in its dying days, filled with cracks and secret knowledge, appeared as if he had always been part of the dust and decay. His dry laughter broke through the silence, sharp and fragmented, his words crumbling like stones falling from a broken wall. "You saw it, didn't you?" he rasped. The anomaly, that tear in the order, that flicker at the edge of a time. His whispers were brittle, leading you deeper into the streets that had long since shed their names, guiding you away from the world the determiners had crafted. "You can't believe them," he muttered. "They don't know the cracks, the edges that have shattered beyond their sight." The man moved like the wind itself, as fleeting as a forgotten thought, like a memory slipping through your fingers. His words lingered in the air, drifting like ash, and you followed them, not because you understood, but because there was nothing else left to follow. At the city's center, you found it. The crack, the abyss. It devoured light, swallowed reality whole. You peered into its depths, the blackness shifting, alive, as though something stirred within, a pale reflection of what could have been, a future that had never been given place. "It's the last possible," the man said with a twisted smile. "All that hasn't been, never will be." Yet deep within the abyss, you saw it. Something moved, a flicker, a spark, a pulse of the unreal, beating faintly at the edge of the impossible. The void called to you, its voice without sound. The walls around you trembled, as if the universe itself held its breath, waiting. One more step, just one, and you would be free. Free from what had already happened, from what had always been. But could you? Could you truly leap into the unknown? The determiners, unseen, still shaped time, chiseling away at reality and discarding the impossible. Nothing is left to chance, they once declared, believing only what happens is real. But you felt something was missing, something beyond their grasp. Without hesitation, you leapt into the crack of possibility, into the unwritten future. As the cubic city crumbled, you fell, not towards an end, but into a beginning. You glimpsed all futures, past and present, intertwined, and when you landed, the universe opened, waiting to be shaped. The determiners were gone, their control shattered. Now the future, undefined and limitless, was yours to create.